Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast, the only podcast that turns workplace challenges into real world solutions. It is so good to be with you all today. Welcome back. If you are new to the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast, welcome. We are glad to have you today. I am your host, Kim the SME, and SME is speaker of my experiences. There are so many people out here on these various platforms that are talking about everyone else's business, but I'm in here telling you about my experiences and things that we all can learn from, things that have been revealed through me, from me, right? And I just want to share that. And I believe that if we all shared a little bit of our experiences and how we overcame them, the world would be such a better place. Such a better place. But anyways, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about AI. AI, artificial intelligence, is here, y'all. It's here. It's not on the way. It is here. It is getting better and better and greater every day. Whether you like it or not, it's being used in our inboxes, in our telephones, in our music, in our art, in our businesses. It is here. It's being used whether you recognize it or not. And so what I want to talk about is you and I. There's AI and then there's you and I. There's so much talk about AI and how it's taking over and the positions that it's going to be, taking over. That is everyone's main focus is AI. But what I want to talk about is you and I. We're still going to be here. It's not like we're just vanishing and going away. We're still here and we have to know how to and learn how to better communicate with each other, be more relational, be more empathetical. We are still here. You and I are still here and we still need to be able to have, people say soft skills. These are real skills. These are real skills. And this is what my podcast is all about. Turning challenges into real world solutions. These are things that AI can't do. AI doesn't have discernment. It doesn't have intuition. It doesn't know when you really need a hug or if you don't, or if your vibe isn't right. It's programmed. And we have to make sure that we understand that there is something outside of AI, and that is you and I. Have you thought about that already? What is it that you're working on besides learning new prompts? Besides, taking all these AI classes? Are you taking classes? How are your social skills? How is your emotional intelligence? It's not going to be just about artificial intelligence. We need real intelligence. We need emotional intelligence. We need compassionate intelligence. We need that. We need to be able to work together, to build together, to love together, possibly to fight together. There is more out there than just AI. And I just wanted to come on here today and just to talk to you all about that. AI, it can assist us with writing. Yes. It can assist us with scheduling and content and making clips and processing information. But before AI, right, when it was just computers and technology, everyone was focused on numbers. There were so many people that were just, when they were running a business, it was just focused on numbers. And what happened with that? What happens when you're specifically only focused on numbers? Your employee morale it tanks. Because you're not concerned about how they're feeling or why, the productivity isn't as high. You're just looking at the numbers. You're not really trying to get to the root of the problem. You're not really trying to figure out, okay, how can my team be most productive? Are there any gaps in communication? Are we collaborating? Are we being authentic? Are we being honest? Are we being ethical? No, that's not the concern. The concern is the numbers. Make the numbers right. Make the numbers higher. And so we lose on that level. At the human level, we're losing. And so now we're bringing in AI. And I'm not saying AI as if it's just been here. It's been here. We've been building upon it, right? So is it going to get better or worse for the actual people? We have to make sure that we are on a solid foundation with each other, whether it's people you work with, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's people you are meeting in the street. How are you interacting with people? Are you welcoming? Are you helpful? Are you honest? I just had someone come in my home yesterday. They called me. They said I qualified for some home efficiency. And I'm like, okay, I really don't have time for these games, but I'm asking these questions. The guy's answering it. I said, okay, come by and let's see what I need more higher energy efficiency. What areas? And I already knew, windows, that kind of stuff. And so another guy comes and I'm asking, I said, how much is it? Is there a fee? No, the state is paying for it. It's a new program, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. So then the other gentleman gets here and then it's a totally different story. He's talking about making payments. He's talking about, you know, uh, they can tack it on to the mortgage. It's like, what are you talking about? If you don't get out of my house right now. And so I'm wondering to myself, like, is this your script? Is this what your management, your leaders are giving you to come out and tell and sell? You have one person on the phone that's going to, tell you all these lies just to get somebody else in there that may be able to close the deal. And then they come in. And of course, they can't say the same thing because now there's going to be some paperwork that's going to have to be read and agreed upon. Right? Numbers. They're focused on numbers, not honesty, not integrity, not any of that. Being upfront, if you have to hide and, play around with words, be real semantical, I'm not cool with that. It's not cool. And this is how the elderly are being taken advantage of because everyone is out here trying to make a sale by any means necessary. They are out here trying to make a sale and it's not right. Thankfully, my husband was home and before he came in, we were both skeptical. And so he said, okay, you can come in as long as I take a picture of your ID. I never thought of that. And I didn't even know about it until after he left. After when the guy was leaving, he said, okay, you can delete that picture now. I'm like, oh, you took a picture of his ID? I said, yeah. He was like, yeah. We got to stop with these games. It's not always about the numbers. If you do great business, if you are, high on the integrity level, if you do great work, you will have no problem with business. People will pay more if you have great work, if you're a great person, if you're not getting caught up in lies, the revenue will be generated. But no, they'd rather, reverse script and just try to get the sale and throw everything else out the window. And that's not cool. And so that is my concern with AI coming in because everyone's focused on it. And it's very important. Yes, our children need to be learning it. They need to be developing it. They need to be programming it. They need to be taking all these classes. So they will not be left behind. So we will not be left behind. For the older generation not to be left behind. At the same time, we need to be working on ourselves for each other. So again, there is AI and there is you and I. AI can't tell real stories. They don't have real experiences. It's only what you give it. What are you prioritizing when you're programming it? What is that human element? What is that human connection? Are you creating a nightmare? These are things that I just really want everyone to think about. I'm telling my children as well. We need to be better humans to ourselves and to each other. It's vital. It's critical. And that's what I do. That's what KimUnity Solutions is all about. Whether it's through my podcast, whether it's through leadership development, whether it's through employee empowerment, whether it's through storytelling and inspirational speaking, we are still going to be here. And for whatever room that you walk into, you need to be transforming with whoever you come into contact with. You need to be raising the vibration. You need to be adding something. When I step into a room, when I step into someone's business, when I play a role in something, I am there to better it. I am there to find solutions. That's why it's called KimUnity Solutions. It's about solutions that are unifying. Solutions that are not just simply one-sided opportunities. They are mutually beneficial. And when I say mutually beneficial, it doesn't mean that someone benefits monetarily and the other one benefits monetarily. It can be based on the needs. It's about the value. It's about the value. There's a difference between empathy and compassion. And I've said this on several episodes because it's really touched me ever since I heard it. And I heard it first from Torrey Roberts. And what he said was compassion is empathy with action. Empathy with action. How are you doing that today? That's not something AI should be able to do better than us. We should be able to show empathy and perform in some way, give in some way, help in some way, be able to identify needs before it's even stated. I love that. I used to work at a restaurant. I used to work at a restaurant in California, and it was my first serving position, but I loved it because I'm great at multitasking. I am great at identifying needs before it's stated, before it's signaled. And I'm great at being efficient. And so those three things are important and necessary when you're in that type of environment. I'm able to look over there and see, okay, what do you need and what will you need soon? Once I approach the table, I can sense, okay, they don't want me to keep coming over here. They're in deep conversation. So I'm not going to keep coming over there asking, is there anything else you need? Would you like a refill? Being able to understand that, being able to see that is important. Being able to sense that is important. Can AI sense? Maybe not yet. That's at the human level. I can tell when not to go and refill someone's iced tea, especially in your California. Because when you're in the South, the tea is already sweetened. But in California, you got to open up the packs and put it in there. And so what happens when you're halfway and somebody comes refill it? Now you got to put more sugar. If you drink sweetened iced tea. Not everybody wants to keep putting sugar in it. They want to drink it all the way down. You see, these are things that you have to really think through. And that's how my mind works. Without AI, what are you great at a human level? What value do you bring to others? How are you connecting to other people? And that's why I've created these conversation cards. I don't have any up here with me. I sure don't. But I've created some conversation cards. They're called Questions and Perspectives. You can find it on QandPcards.com. QandPcards.com. About having conversation, because we are so used to now having meaningless conversations. Hey, how you doing? You're not even listening. Have you ever spoken to someone and said, hey, how are you doing? They said, fine. And you? You said, fine. How are you doing? Not even realizing you've already asked that and they've already answered it. Now you're asking it again because you're on autopilot. You're not even listening. You're not even caring about what they're saying. You're not even responding to that. You're just responding to reply. That is it. We have to do better. We have to do better. Then there's conflict prevention. Everyone talks about conflict resolution and how to resolve conflicts. No, I come at it at an angle where, how could this have been prevented? What can we learn from this that we can apply to the next scenario that prevents the conflict instead of resolving it? Because that's the after effect. That's the aftermath, right? There's cues, there's signs, there's signals. Are you aware of that? Are you cognizant of that? Or are you focused on the numbers and the technology? I was just in Austin this past weekend, and where I live at now, I don't see all the automated cars. Waymo?
Nobody in there driving.
And the cars are driving themselves in there. And they're just driving. And we were walking out the hotel, and we weren't really close to the car, but the car wasn't moving. But I was scared to walk in front of it because I didn't know if it could see me or not. So it's like I'm waiting on it to drive off. It's waiting on me to walk across so it won't hit me. Like, should I try it? Should I just jump out there and see if it's going to hit me? Like, what? Who has the right of way? I know I have the right of way, but does it know I have the right of way? But sure enough, we walked across in front of it and it didn't move. But after we got further away, then it drove off. Now I wasn't there before that, so I didn't see if someone was in it before, if it was dropping someone off at the hotel, if it stayed there to allow the luggage to be taken out the trunk. Like, I don't know how that worked, but it was amazing to see. Technology is great. It's going to be taking positions. It will also be creating some. And so that's why I say it's important for us to understand it, for us to learn it, for us to build it, right? But we also cannot forget about those real skills. We can't do without it. We can't do without it. AI can't sense what your eyes, your eye contact, what it really means, what you're thinking, that whole discernment and intuition part. For some things, you're going to want someone real. Yes, I know they do surgeries and, the robotics is what I'm talking about now, the robotics, which is a form of artificial intelligence, right? I want you to think about what you bring to the human connection, what value you bring to the people around you, what value you bring to the workplace. What would they say you're great at, and what do you think you need to work on? I challenge you all, not just to resist technology, right? You need to take hold of it. Just like this camera that I have, when I move, it moves. That's AI. That's AI. Okay, camera, you're going too far. I don't know how to direct you back. If I move this way. This AI. I like AI because it does free up time. It does help me with scheduling. It does help me with making clips that I have yet to post. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm working on it. But I also I don't come on here and, have it write what I'm going to say all the way out. Like I'm a thinker. I'm a thought leader. So I think it out. I think about what I want to say and how I want to say it. And I have examples and stories, and I want to be relatable. So when I write a book, you will know it's me. It will be my voice. And I know you can make prompts and everything but it's for me to know it's for me. Would I use it to grammatically correct anything or find any errors in it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you see that right there is one position that we really don't have to pay for it as an editor. Right now, I would say you still do because you want to make sure that it's accurate, that it's not missing anything, because again, it's new. That's all I have for you all today. Just a reminder, just a gentle reminder that there's AI and there's you and I, and let's not forget about the latter. Let's not forget about that. We have to work on how we treat each other, how we connect with each other, how we speak to each other, how we understand, how we accept, how we tolerate, how we negotiate, how we approach each other, how we respect each other, how we agree to disagree. We need that. I am so glad I came on here and had this conversation. It was something that crossed my mind because every time I turn on the TV, it's talking about AI or robots or, these self-driving cars, and especially since the one that I've experienced. And I just wanted to remind everybody that, but let's not lose sight of us. We can learn that, but we also need to better ourselves. Thank you again for tuning in. I am your host, Kim the SME. You have been tuned in to the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast, where we turn workplace challenges into real world solutions that creates positive change around the world. If you are interested in any of my services, hit me up, KimTheSME.com. KimTheSME.com. Y'all be blessed.